Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Abyss, and today we're going to be reviewing the Volatile Nightmare Staff and the Siren's Tome. Both items have just been added to OSRS in the beta worlds, and they are going to be the new best in slot items if they potentially get added to the main game. With that being said, that could really change the whole meta for PvP, and especially for Pking and OSRS, and it will have a huge impact on Deep Wilderness Pking. So for this video, I decided to break down the core elements of how this staff will be used for Pking, the pros and cons, and then we'll try it in a few fights and also in a Team Pking setting. So let's quickly test the max hit to see what we're working with here. And alright, so it looks like we're going to be able to hit 82 at max with this, and that's going to create all sorts of new combos, especially seeing as it only requires 50% of the special attack bar, so you can easily combo this with Granite Maul or Dragon Claws, for example. But anyways, let's jump into it, let's try this thing out, see how it really adds up for PvP, and if it fits with everything else in OSRS, and at the end of the video, I'll give you guys some of my final thoughts, how it can be used. But before we get into that, just remember to hit that sub button, drop a like, and leave a comment with your RuneScape name for a chance to win an AGS at the end of next video. Alright guys, this one's gonna be fun. So I got a buddy of mine to go to the tournament world and just get in the basic hybrid set. Obviously I was in much better gear just to see how much of an impact you will be able to have over somebody if you outgear them. Alright, that was pretty OP. We hit 3 back-to-back 40 plus hits in a row, not to mention the fact that you can hit big numbers, up to 80 damage using the magic special attack from long range. It's not like an AGS or claws or anything like that that you have to run up to them. You can actually hit them from many spaces away and still do some insane damage. So seeing as this thing hits really hard and it's pretty accurate for the most part, I wanted to try and rush with it and see what kind of combos we could pull off seeing this weapon in action.
Bruh.
So after a couple attempts at rushing, we did manage to hit one of the biggest combos I think is even possible with this setup. And I'm not gonna lie, if somebody did this to you in the main game, that's almost 160 damage. That's more than 2 brews worth of damage in literally 2 attacks. Now, I know many people have made videos about this new staff and what it will bring to OSRS, whether it be negative or positive. I know that there's a lot of talk about it being the new Karasi sword and how many people are interested in seeing this weapon come to OSRS. But I wanted to give another perspective, something I haven't seen anybody cover just yet. Back in the pre-EOC days, which you can see on my screen right now, the game was very different and Pking styles were heavily underdeveloped. Back in 2010 and 2011, we had massive amounts of sustainability such as summoning familiars and flasks to supplement the massive amount of damage that a player would incur during a full TB. Seeing as this isn't a part of OSRS, or perhaps just not yet, when you do get hit by a team that's developed 10 years past the era of the Karasi sword in terms of skill, organization, switching, and game mechanics, you're going to die nearly every single time if this staff passes the poll. Back in 2010 and 2011, when I was in my prime of Pking, I recall various instances where even using a summoning familiar would sometimes not be enough to withstand a very organized 40-man team in max gear dumping their special attacks on you every time they caught a fresh freeze. With each freeze, you can expect to take anywhere from 50 to 200 damage depending on RNG and if the team was catching you with a full special attack when you didn't have prayer on. This leads me to my final point. This item will completely destroy the skill cap of tanking TBs and tanking teams. When you're tanking a team in Deep Wilderness, magic is generally used for DPS and utility. Barrage does hit hard, but it's quite unpredictable and you can negate most of the damage by having just the correct gear on and also praying magic. Whereas range and melee, you are using a Dark Bow or Dragon Claws for example, you can pretty much always hit 80 plus damage if you're not praying the correct prayer. Now, with that being said, someone who's a skillful tank will know how to predict this and they will be able to basically see the team's next move before it happens. For example, if I'm tanking a team and I'm praying melee, I know that if they're not hitting me for a second or 2 seconds or maybe even just a couple game ticks, I know that they're discussing and basically planning to debo spec me with their next attack. So I can quickly counter this by praying range, which now leaves us with a big problem. Adding a magic special attack into the mix will definitely blur the lines of sustainability and with skill. You can't predict the next special attack anymore because it could be a staff spec or it could be a debo. You're simply left to just be guessing the next prayer. So for example, in that same situation, if I were to be praying range, I risk now getting hit an 80 with the staff. Or perhaps I decide to pray mage, I'm risk getting hit a 40-40 debo. There is simply no counterplay to this, and since the new staff and the new tome will be quite expensive after release, the only real people that will be benefiting from this are the big clans that already run Deep Wilderness. But now, I'm not proposing that magic special attack doesn't have a place in OSRS, but if Jags is serious about adding something like this, they need to understand that there needs to be something that will supplement the amount of damage that you will now receive during a full TB. Seeing as there was a special attack dumping update about a year ago, it will definitely help, but I strongly feel that it still won't be enough. So let's look at a few examples in various different gear for how this would work and how it would simply play out in a realistic situation. So I asked a couple friends to get in Discord and basically focus me, give me a tank test in the tournament world using what a normal team would use, as you can see from the previous clips, max gear, and of course supplementing their toxic staff or Kodai wand for the new staff and the Siren's tome. Now, one thing I did want to outline first is the fact that that tome does actually give more mage bonus and more magic percent damage than an arcane spirit shield, so it is actually best in slot. And if this does come to the game, you can expect not only more accuracy, but also more damage, regardless if the staff comes in or not as well. So one thing I do recognize is magic defense on OSRS is still really messed up, and the staff does splash a lot and hit a lot of low numbers. But with that being said, your magic defense is scaled off of your magic level, and when you sip Ceridome and Bruise, obviously your magic level drops until you sip a Super Restore. So if you get comboed like I did there at the end, where I got declawed into the staff spec, my magic level is probably at like 60 to 70, which means I have no magic defense, and of course, you set yourself up to be comboed really hard if the opponent uses the staff spec. Alright, now let's try this with an absolute max set. Basically what I would PK with the Chins, the Ellie Ancestral Armadillo, a complete max set, 12 Bruise, so let's see how we do. So we almost got banged there at the end. He did hit a 60. Obviously, my Ellie didn't proc. And as you can see, I lived for about 5 minutes there, just under 5 minutes actually. And even in max gear, you are not, no matter what you have, Ellie, Armadillo, whatever, you are still not going to live against this type of gear 100%. So next, I decided to try this in obviously the very bare minimum hybrid set. We got Mystic, Barrow's Legs, the cheapest of course, Torag's, a Spirit Shield, and an Ancient Staff. So we are very, very, very capable of getting basically one shot here. And as you guys can see, this gear totally pummels the basic PK set. But yeah, as you can see in that gear, you pretty much stand no chance. We tanked for maybe 3.5 minutes at most. And yeah, let's go and try again with max gear, only this time we won't be using an Ellie, we'll use Arcane or DFS. As you can see, it doesn't really matter what gear I use, I still get hit so hard, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, and I can't do anything about it. It's all about predicting the right prayer, and of course, if you can't predict it anymore, you just have to guess and hope you hit the right one. But alrighty guys, I've been rambling for a while now. I think you guys get the point. Essentially, this staff will make Pking completely change. It will just completely change the meta. Everything about it will be different. Deep Wilderness Pking will be way more dangerous. Clans will be 10 times stronger. And of course, it will be a lot harder to tank. It will actually completely ruin the meta of tanking because now you have a third spec to factor in. And essentially, I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably don't really give two craps about Deep Wilderness Pking or anything like that, but this is something that's been around since the beginning of time, and I would really hate to see it get ruined. The only way that I could see this actually working properly is if Jags were to add a way to sustain that amount of damage, because currently it's just way too much. You will receive way more damage than you can even eat. Some of these combos can hit as high as almost 200 damage in 2 hits, especially with the claws into the volatile staff spec or vice versa. And of course, it will change the meta for things like rushing and a whole bunch of other things, just like pure Pking and whatnot. I don't think that many people in the PK scene are really too happy with this staff. It's almost similar to the Polypore staff, just a very OP weapon that hits extremely high damage. But I really don't know what's going to happen with it. I'm hoping that it doesn't come into the game personally. But these are, once again, just my views, my beliefs, and things that I've experienced, and I obviously would like to share that with my community on YouTube. So without further ado, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed the video, and if not, I hope that you can at least see my point of view for what it is, and not hate me because I have a different opinion than yours, because obviously everyone's entitled to their own. But Before we do end the video, I do need to do the AGS giveaway from the previous video, so let's take a look at who won. Alright guys, and here we are. We have loaded in the previous video to the random YouTube comment picker, so we're going to grab a random winner here, and whoever it is that wins, all you got to do is message me in game or Twitter, or send a message on Discord, or come in my Twitch chat, or just find a way to contact me. All the links for all of my connections will be in the description, so make sure to check that out. And the winner is Missed This. Feels bad, man. Well, sad dick, you also missed an AGS because I don't know who to contact because you don't got a username. And let's see. FYI, Crystal Seeds are worth more than Nezzies. Prioritize your looting. Damn, man, we got a lot of people on this comment section that are critics that obviously don't want free AGS. All right, let's check the next winner. Damn, Rod's still doing GDZ fight. Man, another next one. Next, Arson, Freddy 9003, Zach Fredrickson, my man Freddy. You have won yourself an Armadillo God Sword. Be sure to check the description. Message me on one of my social medias, and I have an AGS waiting for you, bud. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up the video for today. I really do hope you guys enjoyed once again, and if you did, remember to leave a like, hit that sub button, and proceed to leave a comment in the comment section with your username for a chance to win an Armadillo God Sword. I'm going to be doing these giveaways all throughout December, you know, show some Christmas love, and I'm going to be trying to upload a lot more over the next few weeks as well. With that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one, and remember to check out the description, man. Follow the Twitter, join the Discord server, and all that good stuff. Check out the Twitch as well. I stream on there every day. All right, goodbye.